Hey guys, Jay Hatch here, your sales and lease consultant at Whitby Mazda, and I want to talk a little bit in this video about car insurance because I do have people ask me about that. Some people just aren't familiar with some of the nuances and intricacies of automobile insurance within Ontario. I am not a licensed insurance advisor anymore. I used to be, so I know a little bit, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I learned from my experience. Because you deserve excellent service. All right, guys, so I want to talk about discounts because sometimes people will ask me about discounts. This comes up quite commonly when people are looking to get winter tires, snow tires on their vehicles. Most insurance companies within Ontario, there's obviously the large ones out there, there's brokerages and all sorts, whatnot, but most of them will have a winter tire discount. So if you are buying a new Mazda and you're considering, should I get winter tire package, should I not? If you decide to get one, or later on when you do, whether you purchase from Whitby Mazda or whether you purchase from anywhere else, usually you're going to see a discounted rate on your policy from when you put those on. Also important is make sure that if you have a policy that has a discount for snow tires, and maybe you're trading your vehicle in for a new Mazda, for example, then you definitely would want to get the winter tire package, because otherwise, you're not going to get that discount anymore unless you can get the winter tires that are on your trade-in and you can put them on your new vehicle, something like that. So something to consider, definitely. And also keep in mind that winter tires and snow tires are not necessarily the same thing. Keep that in mind. Any questions, you can ask me about that. Also, a lot of insurance companies will offer something, I forget the name of it, but it basically is like a monitor that goes in your car, and that's going to monitor the driving habits of that person that's assigned to that vehicle. So maybe it's monitoring the speed of the vehicle, if you're going over speed limit, that kind of thing. Aggressive driving, so if you're doing a lot of quick starts, quick acceleration, hard braking, it's going to monitor all of that. And then something like that can affect your insurance premium as well. Excuse me. Multi-car discount. If you've got more than one car in your household, and I've got somebody here trying to get me to laugh, and it's working. But if you've got more than one car in your household and it's with the same insurance company, you should be able to get some kind of a multi-vehicle discount. Doesn't matter if the brand or the make or the model or whatnot, as long as they're within the same household and insured on the same policy, of course. A multi-policy discount, so if there's more than one policy that's within the same household, the same insurance company, maybe parents have a policy, maybe their children have a policy, that kind of a thing, that can benefit you as well. Driver's education for a young driver, that's huge. So whether it's young drivers or any of the hundreds of thousands of driving schools out there, all great, I'm sure. They're well worth their weight in gold on a policy. You can look into a renewal discount if you're renewing your policy. Usually if you haven't had any accidents, at-fault accidents on there, a renewal discount, usually they'll drop the premium a little bit after, maybe 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the case is. Retiree discount, if you're retired and you qualify for that, that's something you got to look into, because just because you're retired doesn't mean that you would. Mature driver discounts, usually if you're 50 years or older of age, they could apply that. Car alarms, anti-theft devices, and these are all things you can ask about as well if you're looking to purchase a vehicle, the anti-theft device, that kind of a thing. And student discounts. If you're a student, could be a discount for that. Group rate discounts if you're a police, nurse, teacher, certain associations, OPG, that kind of thing. You should always ask your insurance company about that. Something else that I want to bring up, and this this throws a lot of people off when it comes to premiums on an insured vehicle, is that a lot of people think that a small vehicle, I'm going to use for an example an old Honda Civic. Let's say it's like a 1994 Honda Civic, and then someone is getting an insurance quote on that, and they're surprised that that quote is much higher than someone, maybe a friend of theirs or whatever, that has a pickup truck, for example. They're thinking, but it's just a tiny little Honda Civic or whatever that car may be. I'm picking on Honda, a little Chevy or Mazda, whatever. It's a small vehicle. Why is it so much in insurance? Remember, it's not so much the vehicle that the insurance company is concerned about. if there's a claim, it's the person getting hurt within the vehicle. So a lot of times insurance companies will base the premium on the size of the vehicle. So look at it this way. If someone's in, let's say, little Honda Civic size vehicle, a Mini Cooper or a smart car, those things are tiny. If they were to get into a collision against, let's say, a big SUV or a pickup truck, right? Now, out of those two, which one do you think the driver and the occupants have a higher chance of getting injured? It's going to be in the smaller car. And that's why it's going to be a higher premium, because insurance companies pay out a lot more money to fix people than they do the vehicle itself. So that's why someone could be surprised if they have maybe an old car, they're just getting liability only, that kind of a thing. Then they are, then they are going to be paying more in insurance. For example, if you were to get a big pickup truck or SUV, like I mentioned, it might be cheaper in insurance because there's more steel around the occupants and the drivers, but then you're paying an arm and a leg for gas, the vehicle itself, your car payments, that kind of a thing. So it kind of weighs itself out. Something else I wanted to talk about was drivers being rated on a policy. So sometimes people will ask me about that as well. Maybe it's a couple coming in and they've got a young driver, just turned 16 or something. There's 2 cars in the house, they're looking at a third car. Maybe it's for that young driver, maybe it's not. But they're just wondering, would the insurance be very expensive for that third driver? Maybe they could just put that car to be rated under their name. So how it works with most insurance companies is that if there's let's say there are 3 people living within the household, within the same residence. Not talking about like a basement apartment or anything where it's separate, but 3 people living within the household. They all have a valid driver's license, and there's 2 vehicles. Usually it's going to be 1 driver assigned to each vehicle, and then that third person is going to be a secondary driver assigned to a vehicle, which is a lower premium because they're not using it as much, right? But as soon as you add that third vehicle, now the insurer was going to want to assign 1 person as a primary to each vehicle, which means that third person, that young driver, is going to be assigned as the primary driver to that new vehicle, and their premium will increase from what it was when they were a secondary driver. The only way you can get around that is if the insurance company agrees to accept a excluded driver form, and that's something that you would need to get filled out and submit to the insurance company. Be very wary of that. If that's something that you're considering, then whoever is excluded, maybe again it's a young driver, that driver that you're excluding from driving this third vehicle, they can't even back that car down the driveway. So, maybe you're sitting around at home and, or maybe the people aren't home and that third person's at home and that third car is there and they're excluded from it, and they get the phone call, could you just back that car out of the driveway onto the road because, we've got people coming to renovate the house, whatever, they need the driveway or something like that. That person cannot operate that motor vehicle whatsoever on any kind of highway or road or anything like that. So something to keep in mind. And exclude a form like that, it's not commonplace. It's usually if there is a very high value vehicle or a sports car or something where it just makes sense that the owner of that vehicle would not want that particular person to be getting behind the steering wheel of that car. So hopefully some of this is beneficial to you. I know a lot of you watching this video, it's nothing new to you, especially experienced drivers with plenty of insurance under their belts. But for some people that are new to this and they're kind of learning, I thought maybe this would be beneficial to you. But make sure you call your insurance company, ask them for any discounts every year. It never hurts us to double check and see if there's any extra discounts you might qualify for. And when you're purchasing a vehicle, if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you with that. I'm never going to give you licensed insurance advice because I'm no longer licensed, but I can kind of help and guide you and just give you my experience. But you should always get the right information from whoever is currently insuring your policy, whether it's a broker or a direct insurance company or whatnot, to make sure you get the right advice specific to you. All right, guys, but thanks for watching the video. If there's any other things you'd like me to talk about or discuss that are automobile related, I'll be happy to do that. You can always reach me by email, jhatch@whitbymazda.com. You can hit me up on my social media at jhatchmazda. I've got a website, jhatchmazda.com. And you can call me or text me 905-391-1637 with any questions or suggestions for videos. Or if you want to book an appointment for a test drive here at Whitby Mazda, happy to help you out with that as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think that's it for my notes. It's a big old mess, but again, if it gave anybody out there value, then it's worth my while. Thanks, guys. Drive safe, take care, have fun, zoom, zoom, and remember, you deserve great service.